Namaskar. Hello and welcome to this India Today special where on this tragic day where Maharashtra's Deputy Chief Minister has died in an air crash in Baramati, we thought we would use this occasion to pay a tribute but also remember Ajit Pawar in his various facets. He was a controversial figure, but he was an important figure in the politics of Maharashtra for 3 decades. And who better to join me on this show than Sahil Joshi, my colleague in Mumbai, managing editor and the Mumbai bureau chief. Thanks very much, Sahil, for joining us on this sad day. I'm reminded, Sahil, of when you and I went and met Ajit Pawar during the 2024 Lok Sabha elections at 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning. We were very tired, but he was fresh and already meeting people. What are your memories of Ajit Pawar, particularly of that meeting where for the first time, actually, he spoke to a national channel in Hindi?
Well, in fact, I would like to say that that was the first time he spoke to any channel about the split happened in NCP and why did he do what he did, which nobody ever thought that he will ask his uncle under whose umbrella he actually grew as a political leader, and he always remained in his shadow despite having his own image in Maharashtra's politics, and that was the first time he actually revealed a lot of things. And most importantly, I think that he doesn't like journalists. That's very clear. He speaks to journalists as somebody as a professional. He on need to know basis. That was the first time I could see that he wanted to talk about a lot of things. Somewhere he had this in mind that he was mistaken. He was not given his due in politics, and that's what he wanted to reveal. He wanted to say what he did. He was always made kind of a scapegoat in politics. So he had a lot of things to talk about, and he said it the way he could. He was not very good with words, though, and that is the reason why a lot of times he got himself into some kind of a controversy. The way he spoke before 2014 when he was being charged for 70,000 crore irrigation scam in Maharashtra by the BJP leaders. He was hounded by the opposition parties, made kind of a face of the whole corruption happening in Maharashtra at that particular time. After Adarsh, actually, that was the biggest scam which was ever talked about. At the same time, he felt that somewhere his party did not stand up for him. Somewhere he thought that he's been made a kind of a scapegoat, and that's what that grudge he always had in his mind, and that's why he sort of decided to stay away from journalists at that time. And it felt that for the first time he was a bit relaxed. He could speak his mind. In fact, Rajdeep, if you remember, he tried to explain to us, that why he had to do what he did, and why the political leaders are taking such kind of abrupt decisions which are completely opposite of the ideology they belonged. He tried to put it on the people, that because the people are not giving a particular mandate to people, to any political party, and that's why such kind of alliances had to be done. Is the thing which he tried to say. But most importantly, Rajdeep, in fact, if you remember,
Right.
a day before, he had a dinner at, yeah.
Harshvardhan. No, I remember we had a dinner at Harshvardhan Patil, who was his big opponent in the Baramati
Yes.
area, and they also never saw eye to eye. I think Ajit Pawar was very insecure about anyone who tried to challenge him in Baramati. He saw himself as the big boss of Baramati. But I remember at that dinner, again, he was very, very, he seemed much more relaxed. I recall him talking about cricket. I never knew that Ajit Pawar used to watch cricket, he said very often. He also liked old Hindi film music. And I saw another part to him, because generally, as you said, he didn't like journalists. He was very blunt and forthright in his comments, and he didn't like small talk. Sahil, I think the last time I spoke to Ajit Pawar was exactly about 2 weeks ago, when just before the municipal corporation elections. And with politicians, sometimes you have to warm them up and ask them some soft questions. Ajit Pawar didn't like all those soft questions. He wanted to get straight to the point. And when I asked him about whether there was a possibility of the Pawars coming together now that they were fighting Pune together, the Pune municipal elections, he said, look, this is what the workers want and we will see where this goes. But when I persisted, he said very interestingly, all this talk of reunion, you should not ask me, you ask Sharad Rao and you ask Narendra Modi ji. I think Ajit Pawar was a complex character. He could be at one level very friendly, very relaxed, and he could also be very direct and forthright, even rude at times to you. He could, he found himself in several controversies. You mentioned the irrigation scam, and yet you met a number of officials in Mantralaya who said he was a very efficient administrator and he understood every department that he had handled very, very well. Even the finance department, if you speak to officials, they said if you put a file on Ajit Pawar's table, he would make sure that the file was cleared by the end of the day. So Ajit Pawar, for his critics, he was seen as someone who was part of this corrupted political culture of Maharashtra. But at the same time, if you speak to many other politicians, they said he was a very hard worker. He was always connected to his people. As I said, 6 a.m. in the morning, if you have 100, 200 people outside your house and he's meeting each one of them, knows them by first name, that means he was connected to the people of Baramati and he had no national ambitions, which I thought was almost his strength and his weakness. He didn't want to make NCP into some national party. He wanted the chief ministership of Maharashtra and he admitted it. What I liked was that he was not pretending, nahi, mujhe koi interest nahi hai. He wanted to be chief minister. And when I had asked him, you remember in the conclave, he said, nahi, ab to itni baar deputy chief minister ban gaya hu, gaadi kaise aage jayegi? I am waiting for my car to go ahead. Ek din meri gaadi aage jayegi. So I thought that was quite, he was quite candid in that sense. What you saw is what you got. He did not pretend to be some political saint or sadhu. But you mentioned one thing, Sahil, and I wanted to ask you. You said he tried to come out of Sharad Pawar's shadow. For the first, from 1990 to 2023, he was almost managing Maharashtra for Sharad Pawar while Sharad Pawar was focusing on Delhi. Do you believe that he had started coming out of Sharad Pawar's shadow by the end? Was he able to really ever do that?
Well, in NCP, it was very clear that what was whose role. Sharad Pawar, being a patriarch and the president of the party, he was the decision maker. And that role was accepted by everyone. Whereas Ajit Pawar, he started actually handling Maharashtra much later, because in 1999, it was Chhagan Bhujbal who was the second biggest topmost leader after Sharad Pawar, and that is how Chhagan Bhujbal was handling. He was given the charge of a party in Maharashtra. At the same time, he was a deputy chief minister of Maharashtra as well. Ajit Pawar started calling shots after he became quite popular among the MLAs. And, he was more available here in Maharashtra because Sharad Pawar was much busy in the national politics. But, the biggest drawback what he could see at that time was that he never had to make a political decisions, because he was more like a bureaucrat. He was more like an administrator. He liked his role as an administrator. He liked his role as somebody who could sit in cabinet meetings, call the bureaucrats around, be a minister in Pune, who can, in Maharashtra, there is a term called guardian minister. You can be a guardian minister of a particular district, and then you can decide where the development fund will go in that particular district. So he enjoyed his position as a guardian minister of Pune, so that he could actually make an area of influence for himself. He started enjoying it more in a way that Sharad Pawar was busy in the national politics and he could decide his things at the local level. But he never took the political decisions, and that was left to Sharad Pawar himself. After 2023, when he actually became the president of the party, the role which he wanted for a very long time, the role that he always looked forward to, that he will be the one who will decide the final authority in the party.